Namaste, everyone. I think I'm the only one left between all of you and lunch now. So I'll try to make this quick. At the outset, first of all, thanks for inviting me here, Manishji and Maheshji. I think it's been great, the experience. I got so much to learn from these children, let alone giving feedback. And it's a wonderful way to spend Durgashtami and the weekend, meeting so many Durgas and Ganeshas like Nahar. Um, I think for participants, I just want to give some general observations and inputs about speech competition first, and then I'll touch a little bit on each of your your if I could call it a performance sort of speech today. But one thing I want to tell first is amazing efforts put by all of you, so kudos for those efforts. And it's amazing to see the pride that you have in Bharat, because that is something the youth and the students are losing today, especially at such young age, fifth standard, seventh standard, ninth standard. Maybe even I didn't know as much as you people really know, so it's great. And when Swami Vivekananda spoke about youth or the young lions helping us achieve that glorious future, making us Vishwaguru Bharata, he was referring to all of you. So great efforts. Don't feel bad about any of the feedback or observations said here. Just remember that there is a beautiful book which is called Good to Great. So anytime in life, here or anywhere, we have to always know that feedback is just, to help us go from good to great. So you all are already good, but you have attended this competition because you want to learn and become great. So the observations are only in that direction. Yeah. So I think a couple of general observations that I wanted to make first of all is topic given to you is very vast, right? They've asked you to talk about Bharat, and so one thing I observed is though it was more about Samskriti and Paddhati, a lot of you started sharing about achievements of India and not really about culture and practices, or you could not connect the achievements much to the culture part. So anytime when a topic is given, we will be overwhelmed by what all we know about India. Same thing happens if they ask you to speak about Vivekananda, for example. He was lot of things. He was a monk, he was a good orator, he worked for India. So it's very important we speak to what the topic is actually about. So that's a very important part about India. We know many things and we want to tell everything, but we have to stick to the topic. So I could see tremendous knowledge in all of you, but that application in daily lives, or how you have imbibed in your life, somewhere I thought could have come out better. So just to give you input so that you would be attending many more such competitions, or you'll be on a lot of such platforms in future. Any such speech competition, people usually judge what you're doing on two primary threads. One is the content and one is the style of delivery, right? So when we say content, first of all, it's your knowledge. Knowledge is your understanding of the topic, how much you have researched into it, how much time and energy you have put into it. That is shown through all the facts that you have collected, but it's not limited to that collection of facts, because your understanding is very important. And then there is an originality part, which is most important, because it's very easy to take a book and read it. But what you are saying, does it really reflect that you have understood the topic? Maybe how you have followed it in your life, or some personal experience. Just remember that originality is very important. Then there's an organization part where you need to have a powerful punch antarala, a good introduction, then develop an idea and then conclude, so that if somebody has not been able to focus on your whole speech, or not heard, like Vivekananji told us a lot of wonderful things, and finally one thing all of us will remember is he said the whole world should say Bharat Mata ki Jai someday. That will stick in our minds now. So that concluding point should be powerful and very important. Next is, of course, the utilization of time. How did you really use? Not much or not less. Made good use of the time given to you. This is about the content. In style, of course, like all of you know, voice is very important. Intonation, how clearly you speak, you're not reading. Then fluency, which is, see, many times we confuse it with having very good language, or using very standard English words or any other language. Not at all important. In fact, I was very happy that so many of you made wonderful attempts and also succeeded in speaking in Kannada and Hindi today. Very good, because that's one of the ways in which we have not let Western influence trample us then by speaking in our own languages. And I myself can't speak as well as you people did, you know. So that's very important. So fluency is more about how smoothly you're delivering and good pace so that everybody understands. Then there is body language, which is more of posture and eye contact, and your gestures with your hand. Those also make kind of send out a message. And then your interest and enthusiasm for the topic is seen by the way you talk. These are parts of the style. So now I'll just go into every participant. Ananta Krishna, I think one of the best points you made is that whatever we have achieved and we are today is not in spite, but because of our culture. I think that is the core or essence of the whole topic of this competition. I had a lot of good things that I felt in your speech. One of them is that you had collected good information, but more importantly, it was contemporary, because you spoke about COVID vaccines, you spoke about Sridhar Vembu of Zoho, because he's really trending now. Not only did he come back to the country, but he's working from village and inspiring others to do it. But lot of your talk for me seemed more about achievements of India and our pride in India, because it wasn't really connected back to how our Samskriti has helped that. But great confidence I saw in you, and you could really, build upon it and do wonderful things. Just to give you a few points on improvement, I think you also started with saying you would focus on a few points, but spoke about too many points. Like I said, first also in general. So when you switch between threads, there is no clear flow or as to what exactly you're trying to say. And you could just probably work a little on your intonation and presentation, because it's very straight without any kind of difference in flow. Otherwise, great points. And one thing I could see in you is you have not just written and learned it by heart, but you've actually understood and probably seen through a lot of things. Shreya, again, one great advantage you have, Shreya, is amazing intonation and good, very pleasant. We feel we want to hear more and more. Great pace, very good intonation. Of course, a great collection of facts again, especially with respect to the historical legacy. One major thing I saw in your thing you could improve on was a lot of gaps and pauses. So when you say right, it kind of gets the attention, especially if somebody is really judging you in a competition. So there should be a free flow. So most of you here, one point I want to. So sometimes whatever I'm telling one participant, right, applies to all of you. You can all learn from it. You would have written a list of points, but the judges or the audience don't know what's your order. So even if you forget, right, you should just go ahead. That confidence is what impresses people more. So those gaps and pauses should be avoided as much as possible. So this is very important. Avantika, again, I think one of the great starts that you made, very fluent, very pleasant presentation and personality. And I thought the first person who stuck to the topic very well, right? Spoke about Indian culture, family system, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, moral values. Why should we learn Sanskrit? Very relevant also. It's not like we had it in the history, so it was good. That is good enough. But anybody now, if you try to say we were like that historically, they'll say, okay, just tell me how is it relevant today. So these are things you should tell all your friends and show them the relevance. So I think one of the persons and the first person who stuck to the topic very, very well, again kept time well, and conclusion was very good. Only thing I felt in between is, especially when you're quoting something, right? Talking is okay, your understanding. But when you're quoting something, shlokas, or say something that a great personality has said, we should learn it very well, because we should not make mistakes in that. That's a very important thing, because they would have said it in a particular way, especially if it's another language. There's a meaning and it can change with even one small word here and there. So just concentrate and focus a little when you're reciting shlokas or quotes. That's very important. Kushagri, I think one thing we have to learn from Kushagri, I felt she made best use of the circumstances. It's online, so we can't probably see each other a lot, but she stood, she had a good background, somehow matching her thing, and that gave her the opportunity to use her hand gestures to make very important points more powerful. Very good command over the language, and again, I felt relevance to current challenges. Our Sanskriti is great, our roots are great. Like Vivekananda ji gave us so many points to reflect on today. What is the use and how do we make use of it today? That's very important. So she spoke about migrant laborers, ADHD and mantra recitation. Amazing point brought about. And especially very interesting. I hope she has really reflected on it and gone through it. How education was first based on dana, and now it has become more of a vyavasaya or business. Very, very important. I don't really have too many inputs for her, but one thing I felt is because she was standing so far, eye contact is a very, very important point of speech. You have to connect with the audience. I couldn't really see her eyes, but I'm sure she has that confidence, and very well done again. Um, Vriddhi, again, I think one of the most powerful starts that she did. I loved your introduction, and one thing I really liked about Vriddhi, she actually had this gratitude. She conveyed her gratitude for the organizers. So we can all talk about our culture, but it is like leaving our culture, and our culture is a lot about this gratitude, and we show by what we do and not only by what we talk. So she showed that culture, and that was a very powerful start where she actually expressed her gratitude towards the organizers. So it's very good. Only thing again I felt is it felt a lot like she read whatever she had written, but this is not a reading or a recitation competition. It's a more a speech, and again it's okay to forget. So it's okay if you people forget. Don't try to show somebody else that you fumbled or forgotten. Just go on, tell whatever you remember, and go on. Chinmayi, again, great oration, great eye contact throughout the speech, very good holdover language, very, very clear, even when she spoke the, I could say very complex words, didn't stammer. And I think very importantly, like Vivekananda ji also reiterated many times, you correlated dharma and vijnana, and that's very important because people always seem to think that the two are always contrasting with each other. And Swami Vivekananda also spoke about how Western science and Eastern Dharma should get together to achieve greater good in the world. So that was a very important point. Again, very well paced. Even when you were reciting many names from memory, because it looked like you were reciting the whole Ekatmata Stotram, it was very well paced. Didn't fumble anywhere. Only thing I felt, Chinmayi, you touched too many diverse points. You spoke about women leaders, scriptures, geographical reverence, scholars, so on. And but what we needed more here were not those achievements of India or probably connection back to the Samskriti. So I would have loved to see more of going in depth on one point and how have you probably applied it in your daily life. I think for everybody that's a general input also that many times we try to say too many things. But what is important is we go into depth in one thing. In anything in life, we can study 10 courses, but if we can study one course wholly and truly so that we are masters of that, that is more important. So let's try to stick to that. Again, Swasti, I think very nicely done. Kannada, again, I was very impressed that all of you are, especially now, I see so many families in my own circles, friends, etc., where everybody is talking in English, and you people showed that you could even do a speech or a public speech. You have attempted and done very well in Kannada. I'm happy with all of you. A very important and pertinent point you made, Swasti, about how India has actually thrived because of its culture and how other cultures are affecting us today. And more importantly, like again, Vivekananda said, you said it's our kartavya, it's our duty. In India, we put our duties before rights, our responsibilities. So you said it's our duty to preserve them, and gave very good example of festivals, yoga, Titi Devo Bhava. All of them very good. Again, compassion you spoke, animal care. So what people in United Nations are today calling as sustainable development goals in a very big way. We have been following it in Bharat from so long. So very important again that you touched all of it. Don't get scared. It's okay. I mean, I understand that you're also young. You might have felt, oh God, what is happening to me, right? But don't get scared. Very good points, and don't do it like a reading when you're doing a speech next time. And make use of your full time. You spoke very well after you started speaking, so it's okay if we can't, say all the points that we want. Yeah. Lekashri and Nahar, I think probably the youngest participants here. It was so cute to see you people. I thought it's such a brave attempt at such an engage to even speak about a topic like this. Lekashri said she's in fifth. I could not make out which class Nahar is in. But very important point. I mean, you would have forgotten the order in which you had written all your points. But when you came back, Lekashri, you spoke about agricultural engineering, how we can help farmers, and how we have to save Samskriti. So you spoke so well, which means you've actually understood and taken it to heart. How you do it, in what language, what exactly you had written are not very important, but you it means you have understood it, because even when you came back without seeing, you could spoke about all that, and that is the originality I am talking about. Because you said ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀನೇ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚಿಕ್ಕವಳು, so which means you've been taught like that, and that shows in your talk. Nahar again, they say from the heart, right? I felt he spoke so much from the heart. He said the poor, then employment, if they don't have, you have to help them, otherwise God will not be happy with us. Definitely his understanding of Bharatiya Samskriti, and that is what we want today, that all of you understand the advantage of Bharatiya Samskriti, and try to mix up whatever was good. And now, a lot of youngsters have this doubt about roots and wings, right? But roots, we should always, our roots should always be strong, and your wings are there for you to fly. So it doesn't mean that if we are rooted in our old practices, or if we continue whatever we had been doing, it doesn't mean that we can't spread our wings far and wide. So this is a very good example. All of you are wonderful examples of the youth that Vivekananda spoke about, that you will help us take our country forward. And all the elders here today who are there, including me and your parents, we should be very happy that our Bharat is in safe hands, even after our generation, after seeing all of you. So congratulations for the stupendous efforts. Happy Navratri for all of you. Vande Mataram. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.